what is Python? This is the first question which arises. What is Python? Python is a scripting language and it is a programming language. And what is the difference between scripting language and a programming language? I'm very sure that you guys are aware, and if you are not aware, I'll try to explain you. According to Wikipedia, Python is an an object-oriented high-level programming language. Python is an interpreted, object-oriented, high-level programming language. But there are jargons involved. People say that it is an scripting language. Some people say that it is a programming language. So what actually it is? So Python, yes, you heard it right. It is indeed a Python is a scripting language, but it is also a general purpose language. It is also a general purpose language, and which has object oriented features involved with it, so that you can write object oriented code. And it is an interpreted programming language having high level features. For example, high level feature means you can use English like language, and it is very close, similar to English, our English language. So let us start coding. And as I mentioned earlier, you might not have heard because there was some problem with streaming. My sessions will be more focused on coding, live coding, so that all the participants, be it beginners or intermediate or advanced level, they can better understand. Theories, I am not very keen talking about theories. So let's quickly go to our Visual Studio Code, which I sent you in the morning, and I asked everyone to install our Visual Studio Code. So I hope you are seeing my screen. I hope you are seeing my screen. Again, someone is okay. This is the basic structure of a Visual Studio Code. On the left pane, you'll see all this project explorer, your files where you can create directories, folders, and files within folders. So I've created a directory called day1, and within that day1 I've created a file called numbers.py. We'll be talking about numbers. What are numbers in Python? Because every programming language deals with data types, and every programming language also deals with manipulation of datas, right? Let's start coding. So a equal to 10. If you have any other experience on other programming language, you have to define the type of variable. Like for example, if you are using C, you have to define that what type of A it is. But A is essentially of int, but because Python is a strongly typed language, you don't have to specify what type of A the value, what type of A it is. Okay, it will automatically, the interpreter will automatically take care of the value. According to the value, it will figure it out the type of variable, the type of data type it is. So the print statement or the print function, what it does, it is an output function which prints something to the console. Suppose I want to print the value of A, so I'll just write print A. So when I run this program, you can see the value 10, right? You can see the value 10. There are a couple of other ways to print, to use the same print method or function, whichever you might call it, like print. So you can, as you can see, I have defined a variable called a which has a value of 10 initially, and I'm using a simple statement, simple function called print, which prints the content of a. And again, the third print statement is using a f string, where I am using this curly braces, and within this curly braces I am trying to get the value of the variable which I want. So I am just passing the name of the variable. This is the second way of printing values. And the third way is using the format specifier. This is a method. So how do we do it? Using the print statement, you don't specify the variable name here, but after that you use the format method, and whatever value you want to print, you can specify here. For example, if I create again a variable called b equal to 10, and I want to print both the values, so I have to use these two curly braces and format a comma b, because I want both the values to be printed. Okay, so now if I run this code, we can run this code on the right pan side. You can see this run Python file in terminal. Otherwise we can do uh, from command line also, numbers.py. So you can see 10 10 is printed because both values have 10 and 10. So 10 and 10 is printed, right? Hash, if you prefix any statement with this hash symbol, this essentially makes this statement, the entire line, a comment which the Python interpreter will not read. It is just a comment. So comment can be a single line comment and a multi-line comment also. This is a multi-line comment. Also, it is known to be used as a doc string, which we'll talk about later on. So both these are comments essentially. We can do arithmetic operations, b equal to 10, and if I want to print the value of a plus b, so what do you think will be the output? The output will be 20, right? So I'll again decomment this and run this program. So you get the value of 20. If you are following along, so you please let me know, because I want to see on the chat section if you are following along. You can multiply also two numbers. That's also an arithmetic operations. Okay, I got a link of YouTube so that I can see whether I'm live or not. Shrestha says yes, you're saying it. Fine. Now let's try to multiply two numbers. A and B are essentially of type numbers int, right? So if I print A into B, so into is an arithmetic operator, right? Multiplication operator. So it will give us 100. If you run the program, it will give us 100. Are you saying this? How do we calculate? For example, if I ask you to calculate 5 raised to the power 2, that is 25. So how do we do that? In Python there is a operator which will do the same. 5 will use double double asterisk mark, right? And this will give us 25. So this is given 25. I hope you are all getting it right. Now let us talk about division operator. Print. I want to divide C by 2. So C by D. So what should be the output? Should it be 5 or should it be 5.0? So let us see. It's 5.0. So whenever you divide an int with an int, I mean to say that when you use this division operator, it returns us an int. It returns as a float value. So that is why we got a float value here, 5.0. In the same way, if I want to find the modulus of a number, modulus of two operands, how would we do that? Print C modulus 2. And can you tell me what is how does a modulus operator work? Are you aware of that, my friends? Are you aware of it? Gives 0, right? It gives 1. So how does a modulus operator works? And I also want to ask you, how does a division operator works? So let us try to figure it out. When I'm trying to divide the value of 10 by 2, essentially what I'm trying to say is that how many, the denominator and there are numerator, so how many values of D means 2 are in 10? So there are 5, right? So that is why the answer was 5. Now when I talk about the modulus operator, it does something else. It gives us the remainder part. Now the value of C is 10 and I am using this modulus operator and I am using this modulus operator with this 3. So when I divide C with 3, 10 by 3, and it will give us a remainder. This modulus operator will give us a remainder. So how many 3's are there in 10s? There are essentially 3 3's. But what is the remainder? The remainder is 1. So that is why I got the remainder 1. Are you getting it? I'm going back to my YouTube streaming and just want to be sure. I'm going back to my YouTube streaming and just want to be sure. Going back to my YouTube streaming and just want to be sure. Going back to my YouTube streaming and just want to be sure. Going back to my Manish Omkara said that sir it is an int data type, then why the output is 5.0 and floating point? Okay Manish. Manish Omkara said that sir it is an int data type, then why the output is 5.0 and floating point? Manish, I would like to mention that everything in Python uh, is an object. So I'll try to explain you this. There's a type function which which takes an object or which takes a value. If I take a value, if I provide a value of c is of type int, right? And then you can see the output, and then you can figure it out why this is happening. Oh, sorry, c equal to 10. So see, the output you got is class int, right? So everything in Python is an object, and if you are talking about int or float or numbers or strings, they are essentially objects of a superclass, and that is called the object superclass. This will also give us what if the value of 3 plus 2 plus 3 minus 10 is 4, right? 3 plus 3 is 6 minus 10. So it also this Python also uses this BODMAS rule, right? Which you can which you all are aware of. BODMAS rule. The first is bracket, okay, the other was in BODMAS rule. So you must be aware of BODMAS rule. So we will not go into detail of this BODMAS rule. Now I want to show you something else. Having enough talked about numbers, which will again do some sessions on the next weekend on numbers itself. Let us assume that A is 10 and B is 3. If I give a remainder, if I the first one will give us a value of 3.335. This is a floating value, right? This is a floating value. But if you don't want a floating value, you want a floor value. Are you aware of floor value? There are two concepts called floor and ceiling. Floor is the down part, the lower part limit, and the ceiling is the upper limit. So now the same thing it has given us this 3 output, and this is an int, right? If you try to print type of, which you should always a by 3, let's suppose. So will it throw an error? Class float, right? It is giving us a class float. If I give this, it will giving us a class int. So I hope that this solves your query. I forgot the name. Please increase the video quality. Okay sir, thank you. Sir, it is an int data, then why the output is 5.0? Please try from the laptop. Video is quite clear. Are you trying from mobile? Okay. So Omkara, I hope that this Panisha Omkara, I hope that this solves your problem. When you just use a division operator, this gives us a floating point value, and when you use this operator, it won't give you a floating point value. It will essentially give you a int value. And I want to Now I want to yeah. So enough of seeing me. Now let's start coding. So this is I hope you all have understood this. Now we'll talk about strings. Strings in Python. What is a string? A string, a series of characters, right? A series of characters. An example maybe Rahul. Rahul is a series of characters. This is a string. So anything that is enclosed within double quotes or single quotes, anything that is enclosed within double quotes or single quotes is a string for Python. Now Rahul, okay. Now I am trying to print the content of my string. You got it, Rahul? So anything that is enclosed within single quotes or double quotes. In this case, it is enclosed within single quotes, right? My string 2 equal to Sumani, and I want to now print my string 2. So this also prints Somani. It means that if you want to create a string, so you have to enclose this within single quotes or double quotes. Now coming back to the same problem, we can print the same content using the other format specifier. For example, I want to hi dot format my string 2. So it will, if it runs properly and if there are no errors, it will give me hi, whatever the value of my string 2 is. In this case, this is Sumani. Hi Sumani. Hi Sumani. Right? You got it? And why is there a space here? Because I left a space here intentionally. There's no space, right? Okay. There are some more important things to be considered while we are studying string. String acts like an array, but it is not an array like in other programming language. It is not an array. String is also a class, and my string in this case is an object of class string, which I already showed you. Type of my string, so this will give me class str. It means that this my string is an object of class string. How do we concatenate two strings or multiple strings? So what does concatenation means? I have somebody is sending me messages. Maybe I have to see it and okay. Uh, okay. I will not open. So concatenation essentially means adding two things together. So in the previous this is my string and my string 2. I want to add these two strings, right? So how can I do this? I can do it in multiple ways. The one way is print or I can also create a different variable, total or combined string equal to my string plus my string 2. So I have again created a variable called combined string. This is an object, please remember this is an object of type string, and it will hold the value of my string, whatever the contents of my string and my string 2. And if we print combined string, Rahul Somani, right? You got it, Rahul Somani. But Rahul and Somani, there are no spaces between Rahul and Somani. Why is it so? Can you figure it out? This is because I have, if I want a space between this Rahul and Somani, so I have to change something else here. Rahul Somani, you got it? So actually what I did is I concatenated my string with a space and again concatenated that string, this one with my string 2. Sorry for my voice, sorry for my voice. I have some problems with my voice and nozzle, so sorry for that. You can also do it Rahul b equal to Sumani print I hope it works. It worked, right? So join is a method which takes arguments. Join is a method which takes argument, and if you want to supply multiple arguments, you have to enclose within this square brackets, and this is called a list, which we'll see on later sessions. If you add ampersand here, what do you think it will do? It will join my string with this. It will join my string. What is the value of my string? The value of my string is Rahul. Okay, it took the value of my string first, and then whatever I have specified here, the value I gave, it concatenated this my string with this one, and following that, whatever this string value is, it added this. So this is another way of concatenation. So join is a very nice method, which we'll see later on in our upcoming sessions. If any guys have any problems, please let me know through chat. I will open that window and I want to see if you are following along. Okay, Manish. I hope this will give an error. Yeah. Okay. If you are aware of the concept of arrays, arrays are essentially a continuous memory location where we can store values of the same type. I am talking about languages called C or Java, right? So string, in case of Python, string is also you can index strings. So I'll give you an example. The same example where the value of A is Rahul. I want to access the value of the element at index position 0. The index position always starts from 0 and goes to the end of the string, that is a length minus 1 of length minus 1. So if I provide an index of 0 here, okay, and if I print an index of 2, R and H, the value at index position 0 is R, which it nicely printed, and the value of index position 2, 0, 1 and 2 is H. So I hope this is clear, isn't it? Again, I will try to change something. For example, the same value I am trying to print 8. Although there are no 8 characters in this string called A and Rahul, but let us see what happens. Does Python throws an error or it does something else? So yes, it throws an error, and what does this error says? It says index error, string index out of range. So whenever you get this sort of error, you can easily know that yes, you are trying to index a value which is not there. Okay, now let us suppose I want to give an index of -1. I'm giving an index of negative index. What will happen? Again, let's see what happens. It gives L. How come it gave L? If I print A -2, so it should essentially give you U. Sorry, typo mistake. So what happens in Python is that you can have positive indexes from the left hand side. I mean to say that when you move from the left hand side, the R will have an index of 0, A will have an index of 1 incremented to 0, and so on. And if you want to access elements from the right hand side, so you can, the first index is -1, the second index is -2, U has an index of -2, H will have an index of -3, A will have an index of -4. So this is called, indexing. Whatever I showed you this is called, essentially called indexing. So I hope this is clear, guys. Now we can also talk about slicing. Slicing is a concept where you want a particular piece of data from a string, from one position, means a start position, to an end position. In this case, I am just getting, while indexing, we are just getting one value. But if we want to get some value from a start index to the end index, how do we do that? So let us suppose, let us create a new string called first string equal to what is what. Second string hello, uh, slicing, print first string. You use the square bracket as you used here during indexing, right? And this will, I want to start from the zero index and I want to go till the second index. I mean to say that I want the value starting from zero index till the second index, but the second index will not be included. So let us see what happens if we run the program. WH. So can you figure it out? First thing is WH, right? So 0 to 1 it goes, but it excludes the upper limit. It does not go till the second index. It will go one index lower than the index which you provided. I mean to say that it will go from 0 to 1, right? If I change the program to 4, so what will happen? Will it throw an error? It won't throw an error because it won't complain. It won't complain if you provide 16, for example. It won't complain. It won't throw an error because it is just concerned. It will start from the zero index and it will go and start printing the entire content, and after that it will encounter a special value called a null value. A null value having an ASCII value of 0, and whenever a null value is encountered, it means that is in the end of the string. So no matter whatever the value you give, if the value is greater than the index, the total length of the string, it won't complain. Print. We can also omit first string, the first parameter before the colon. If you omit this, it will start by default from 0. Okay, and now I'm giving 3. So see, WH it started from the 0th index and it went till the second index, 0, 1 and 2. But I have given the third index, and as I told you, it won't go till the third index. It will just go one index back before the third index, right? Now let us print second string, and I am giving an index of 1 and I am omitting the second part. Okay, the second part. So in this first case, I gave the entire thing. I gave both the indexes, the start index and the end index. In the second statement, I omitted the first index. So the first index by default starts from 0. And in the third example, I have given the first index and I have omitted the second index. So what will be the output? Will it throw an error? I don't think so. Hello, right? I am starting from the first index. This is the 0 index, right? And it started from the one in the first index. The first index value is E, and it goes to till the entire length of the string. So you got LO. I hope this makes sense. We can also use negative indexes. First thing, I want to start from the 0th index and I want to go till -2. Now let us figure it out before running the program. The first string has a value of what, right? And if you start from the left hand side, the index is 0, 1, 2, 3, and if you start from the right hand side, the index is -1, -2. So this will go essentially do, it will start from the zero index, so it will print 1 and it will go till the -2 index, right? So -1 and -2. So let us see what is the output, whether it is WH or WHA. WH. So I hope, are you all guys following this? Please let me know on the chat. Please let me know. And if you are not following, so maybe I can give you some other examples. But I hope that this is a pretty simple example. Print first string. I don't give anything. I have omitted the first parameter, first index, and the last index also, right? So what will happen? It gives us what? It actually works the same way like I am not giving this.